ZABAL Games Season 1 is in search of workshop leads. June is the prep month, a library of recorded sessions that gets a whole cohort of first-to-vibe coders ready before the ship a thing this July. If you have built something worth teaching, you have a session to give. Visit ZABALGames.com, that's ZABAL Games.com, and sign up. What is the ZABAL Games? 3 months, June, July, August. June is prep with ZAL teachers, vibe coding instructors run recorded sessions on tools, context, and the ecosystem. July is the open build-a-thon. Anyone with the vibe coding harness ships a build for the ZABAL ecosystem publicly. August is the finals, a cohort curated from July. Each builder paired with a ZAL mentor for the main event, winner reveal.
Okay, what up everybody? We are back for another ZABAL Games workshop. Today I got Dylan from Bizarre Beast here. How we doing today, Dylan?
Doing great, Zal. How you doing?
I'm excited. It's good to see your face for the first time, hear your voice for the first time, because I only really know you through the through the casts and through the
through the power of the written word, right?
Exactly. So I'm excited to sit down here with you today, talk a little bit about, your IP and what you've built, but also the Bizarre Pixel Studio, which I'm really excited to see what that's all about. Do you want to give a little intro about yourself, Dylan?
Yeah, absolutely. So you basically know about Bizarre Beast, but Bizarre Beast has been an art project that I've started back in 2021. And over the last several years, I've just been bringing the IP on chain, developing a community around that, which has been the most incredible development of the project of all. And then over the last 2 years, I've really just dove deep into learning how to take all of these creative assets and put them into, coded platforms, games, and now a pixel art studio. Of course, the flagship accomplishment of the project is securing the A3 award and developing the series for DCP Plus, the Bizarre Beast animated series, which is really exciting. I've been really heavily focused on that. I haven't written as much. I haven't produced as much content over the last, 4 or 5 months because I've just been incredibly heavily focused on developing an animation in a really cool way that I don't think's ever been done before. So I'm pretty excited about that.
No, that's super exciting. I think you're a wildly perfect fit for actually what I'm doing. And in one thing you've done is you created something and then you realized you needed something else around that. And you went and you found a resource or an ecosystem that could help you provide bringing that IP on chain, animating that IP, building different collectibles around that. And I think that's the really cool use case of these NFT like projects that stay and last, right? A lot of them don't last past the initial moment, but when they do and when they're around for years on end, like you guys have been, you slowly build things over time into this is another place you can use our IP. This is another place you can use our IP. And it slowly becomes a lot bigger than just this art project is where it initially started. And it can be brought to life by the individuals that are a part of it. And that's one of the most beautiful things of it all, when it's like, I'm sure there's things that you've done where you had no idea you were going to do it, but because the community pushed you that way, you just went and rocked it out.
I would almost say the entire project has been unexpected also to me. I've really tried to remain flexible. Even when I launched the project, it wasn't like NFT collection time. It's just an art project. It's just a public presence that I was building with comics and having fun, and it has become what it has become. Certainly through a lot of hard work and ambition, not without vision or planning, but there's been a lot of flexibility and adaptive nature to the project that's brought it to where it is today.
That's cool. I think there's a lot of fun things to touch in on there. I would love to know when you created it, what was one of those first things that surprised you about the community? What was something that you weren't expecting, but then you're like, wow, this is a pleasant surprise?
And several different things. Farcaster has been really the key to unlocking the project. My wife and I started an art business, an art studio back in 2018, and we've been building that for many years. But to find an online community that supports that artwork is really It's the holy grail of being an artist, is having a community that supports you. And I wouldn't say it happened immediately, but almost immediately after joining Farcaster and starting to share my work, people just swarmed around, supporting it, liking it, sharing it, collecting it, jumping on the token, playing the games. And I think it's because, in the on-chain world, even though we're all separate, we're all collectively building this together. And so the community, even I rally around projects that I love and support. I'm not just an artist and trying to only be that. It's like this is a shared presence, a shared technology, a shared and warm attitude. It's all crypto and trading and heavy on the tech. But from my perspective, I've found it to be mostly community. And Farcaster has been the place I found that. So, you know, the surprise for me was just that, finding Farcaster, wishing I had found it sooner, and then really plugging in, not trying to be something I'm not, and not being inactive, but joining Farcaster, being authentic, and daily being active. So
Yeah, I love that. I think the daily being active part, it's find a couple communities or places on the Farcaster ecosystem that you want to join every day, whether that's for XYZ game or XYZ news. I think it's really powerful to find your corner of this, general cozy corner of Farcaster.
definitely.
I like a lot of those pieces of Farcaster, and one of the places I've seen you a lot is through Empire Builder and being able to see your empire. We had Jordan, your berserker, on to start us off with our workshops. Had a couple awesome sessions with him. We had Divi Fly on last week to talk about the read opportunities that people could create with some of the API endpoints that are out there with the Empire V3. I think Empire Builder for me has been a really great place to plug in and tap in and try things out, that we can use some of these tools and resources to bring some of this stuff together. I think for me, I really enjoyed the fact that I could bring in an NFT or an ERC20 as a token booster and still be able to give value to those individuals that may have purchased that a year or 2 years ago, and be like, hey, here's a place where that asset is valued more than it was before. And I think that in and of itself can be a really powerful way of bringing things together, especially assets and IP. I'd
Yeah,
love to know a little
absolutely.
bit more about your empire story or journey, or how you started your empire and how you've
Yeah,
liked using the tooling.
yeah, sure. It's been like Empire Builder has been a huge unlock for me as an individual builder and for the community that holds my artwork and holds my token. Because the thing is, like, yeah, it's a warm community and all that, but we're all also into crypto, and we're all also into tokens and coins, and we want them. We want to collect them and keep them and trade them and buy and sell them. And so the thing is, as a creator, from my perspective, I had NFTs and now I have a token and I can sell the NFT for the token. But then where does it go? What carries the token forward as a part of the business, you know? And that's what Empire Builder represents to my project. It's the utility pill, it's the entire platform and function that gives the token so much utility, so much activation. There's rewards, staking, as you mentioned, boosters through NFTs. I have different leaderboards set up for different actions that have taken place throughout the life of the project. Like if you voted for the project in the A3 award, there's a leaderboard for that, and it's specific, and only those people have access to it. So over time, the Empire crew, your Berserker and Divyfly, have really built out all the things that I've needed and other people have needed in order to have a plug and play solution for, well, what do I do with the token once it's here? And I love that.
Yeah, I like that a lot, because I think you said it at the beginning, we're in crypto and we all love to participate in this on-chain economy. But at the same time, I find it hard to understand from one token to the next what the difference is, other than the individual leading it. And I think Empire Builder really gives the founder the opportunity to do what they want, make it unique, make it their own, and add that custom flair of
Yeah.
what what can be done more with a token than just a token being out there that can be bought and speculated on by anyone. But what can we do? How can we bring that into leaderboards, like you were saying, and not even
Yeah,
just general leaderboards, but specific leaderboards? One of the leaderboards that I have is I have a Poid Bounties leaderboard. Poid is picked or it didn't happen by Kenny, and we've done 3 claims so far, with a 4th one coming out soon. And the goal is anyone who's ever submitted to a Poid bounty will get 1, extra point for every single Poid bounty
sure.
they've tried to be a part of. And that gives me over time the ability to, only one winner for our Poid submissions are being rewarded, but still able to include the people who not only have submitted for this active bounty, but any previous bounty as well, which is really cool. And I was able to code that all in my own and put it on my website and import that right into Empire Builder with no problem and be able to distribute
Yeah,
out funds that way, which was amazing because if I had to do that manually, it would have taken more time. And that's actually the reason
yeah.
I did
Saves a
it.
lot of time. It saves a lot of headache. It brings a lot of security and protection to the process. And the Empire API is heavily integrated into my Bazaar Beast mini app. So there are several features that are not token gated, but they are Empire tier
Huh.
gated. And I've
Tell
broken
me more about
my,
that.
yeah, so the leaderboards are top 250 token holders or whatever you set it up as. And so throughout the mini app, I have divided those leaderboards into tiers, the top 25, the next 25 to 50. And based upon your standing in the leaderboard, you have access to certain attributes and features within the mini app that maybe other people don't. So, one example is there's a coin flip game in the mini app with Bisbee, his head and his butt. And depending upon your tier in the Empire, you get more daily flips or less.
That's
In the
cool.
meme generator, if you're higher tiered, you can remove the watermark, just different kinds of things. So
And did
it
you
adds a
make
lot
those
more fun
custom?
utility to,
Yeah,
yeah, I
did you
made
make
that
those custom
custom just
sections
using
yourself?
the API. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Interesting. Okay, I'll have to look into that because that sounds like a really fun way of incorporating like top 10 on the leaderboard, get XYZ thing. Being able to do
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
I'd grab that agent skill from the Empire site and give it to your coding agent and start discussing what capabilities the API would provide you within your mini app. You might be not surprised, but happy about the different features that are ready to go.
I like that. That will be one of my first tasks in the open build session because I've had some ideas for Empire Builder, but I've always been like, okay, like this is an idea. I want to rock it out, but I want to really sit down with it. So I think I have a session set up for a conversation, a live stream with both your Berserker and DiviFly to build something. So it'll be really fun to just kind of ideate and brainstorm with them on some of these things. I like the tiered approach of the leaderboard because I'm trying to use my Farcast, my Zabal Farcaster leaderboard as my main distribution point of like, okay, like anytime I'm going to do a distribution, I'm going to use this one because A, I want to use the Farcaster social graph, and B, I want to reward people who are near the top. So
Sure.
I think it'd be really cool to be able to set up tiers on that. So I'll check that out. I appreciate that little tidbit of advice. Do you want to share any of the other forecaster tools or communities or ecosystems that you've been able to tap in with? That's been another opportunity to share that IP.
Oh yeah, man. I've done several different collabs. Some of the projects that I've collabed with now are unfortunately, not operating anymore, like Influence and. But Ali's a great guy, and I still consider it one of the great collabs of the projects so far. I've collabed with the Thank You So Much community, several of the different empires like Scum, Politics, Your Berserker's Empire. I'm sure we'll be doing some collabs. I've collabed heavily with the Farverse
Okay.
project, especially heavy in the Slay to Earn game. So I've really been open to collabing and sharing and trying to recreate things that are both bizarre and complement other projects. And it's been really fun to do all those collabs.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's my favorite part of the space.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you want to get a little bit into the Bizarre Pixel Studio?
Yeah, it's like a little different project that was born out of. So, a little background, with this animated series and the things that I'm creating for DCP Plus, there's like, in all vulnerability and honesty, this is way outside of my professional training and wheelhouse. I went to school as a finance major. I've been doing business development and entrepreneurship, certainly in creative fields, but never anything quite like this. So this task of creating these assets for, what is an animated series has been a big task, especially as kind of a solo creator. My wife's helping me with the sound design and the sound effects and the music, but the responsibility is falling to me as a person to get it done. So through that, I have really had to flex my creativity in my brain and develop tools and assets, not just drawing artwork that would expedite and increase my power as an artist in order to create a hand illustrated cartoon in a really short amount of time and make it impressive and cool and fun. So this Bizarre Pixel Studio was kind of born out of that. So I'm going to share my screen.
Go for it. Amazing.
Okay, so to start, this is the Bizarre Pixel Studio.
And is this
Now,
available for anyone to participate in?
you can go to pixel.bizarrebeast.io. It should be live on Farcaster as a mini app as of this morning for this call. But anyone can visit the site. It's a free to use tool. And in essence, there's a lot of power in this. You're able to paint and create pixel artwork, but that artwork has an underlying piece of code underneath it. So I'll just give you some example as I have built into the platform. So here's the Bisbee booty shaking from my Treasure Quest game. It's, the character is moving his butt. Right? Here is my cat from the animated series, Wasabi, as a pixeled form walking.
That's cool. Okay.
Right? So what's really cool about this is now someone can visit the Pixel Studio. They can create an original piece. They can grab one of my examples that I've made and edit it and build on it. But here's where the power comes in, is underneath this artwork is code, a small piece of code that translates the art into code. So this is pretty powerful because you can use it in HTML websites if you're building games. If you need to store artwork, it's, a lower memory footprint than the images themselves. And the tool, I've built in several different ways to
Because
export
it's just
PNG,
pixel art.
CSV. Yeah, all pixel art. Yeah.
That's cool. So you're just able to re-replicate it with that code. I like that. That's really interesting.
Yeah, so you could just grab this code and then you can change it. So let's say you want to change the color. You can change this hex code right here instead of going in and recoloring all of the pieces. Let's say I want to change it to pink. I can just come in here and change the hex code. And now the cat is pink. So
cool.
There's a lot of flexibility and power in having the ability to create something visually, but then store it, save it, use it, edit it, and alter it as a piece of code. And this is kind of just a free little art project that I built. It's going to be a part of my both meme generator on my mini app, but also this tool is going to be, it's kind of the seedling of what will be a color by number and other platform for my kids page. This is a kind of not a clone of the Bizarre Beast site, but a stripped down free version of the site that's really geared for kids. It has versions of my games with no need to connect an account or anything. Downloadable coloring pages. So this tool will eventually be built into here, and it's a cool way for kids to come and get to know the platform, get to know the IP, have fun with the artwork, and learn a little bit about technology.
I love that.
So the Bizarre Pixel Studio, yes, it's live for anyone to use. I believe it's also available on Farcaster. Let's check it out. should be live. Yeah, there we are.
Amazing. So make sure you guys try it out.
Yeah, so go check it out. It's just a fun little tool that you can use to make artwork. Watch for probably some contests coming up in the Bizarre Beast mini app using the Pixel Studio, and that'll be a lot of fun.
I love it. Let me pull this down. Yeah, no, that's really cool. So how did you just kind of recently build this? Is there what's the intention behind building this? I know you said you want to pull it onto the kids page. Is it just like an idea you had on a whim and you're like, okay, this would be a cool thing to have?
Yeah,
Or is
so
it like part of this grand plan?
it's part of the grand plan, but it was a spur of the moment idea that developed in the grand plan. The idea stemmed from the fact that I'm developing some components for the animation, and in the show, there are screens in a laboratory. And I want the art style within the lab screens to be different than the art that I'm drawing, for the series.
That's
So I
cool.
was developing a tool in order to have that
To make
done.
that easier. Yeah.
Yeah, and that Pixel Studio, I didn't show it to you, but you can upload or import images into it. It'll try to make them a pixel art. You can even copy and paste images in. So every idea that you see within this project is all building upon itself in a very connected, woven structure. If I didn't build the games that I built 2 years ago, I wouldn't be able to create this animation today. So it's all stepping stones, consistently, daily, building, creating, building. And then at the end of a couple of years, you have this massive footprint of IP and architecture and software. I mean, shit, I've built like over 80 different tools in an animation studio that I've coded out to expedite processes within this series development. Otherwise, I'd be manually doing all of that in After Effects, Photoshop, and all those things.
Yeah, I can understand that. We got a question from Nacho here. Were you always a digital artist or traditional artist that switched to digital with emerging tech? Did you go to school for art or self-taught?
Self-taught. I did not go to school for art, but I wanted to. I was a 90s kid, and in the 90s, if you wanted to be an artist, you were told, don't do that, you won't make any money. And they were right. So I went to school for finance, and I was a business guy. I worked as a financial advisor. I've worked in marketing. I've been in business development and partnership development for a really long time. But all of my life, I've been an artist, an illustrator. And as a kid, I wanted to make a cartoon. That was like my ultimate goal.
Huh.
So I'm actually getting to do that now. I was just an ink and paper artist for a very long time. All of the artwork you see in my digital portfolio originated on paper with ink. But I've slowly transitioned to becoming a digital artist, especially with this project. So it's all self-taught. I've done a lot of learning and tutorials, a lot of self-practice, a lot of trial and error to become a digital artist. And certainly I have a whole lot more to learn. But that's my story.
No, that's awesome. I love it, Dylan. Thank you for coming on, sharing a little bit, getting the opportunity for me to learn a little bit more. I definitely have a couple of cool collab ideas. If not, we'll definitely have to just get you in July, come in and make something together at the same time. Maybe like an hour session, something like that could be really fun. And yeah, I'm really excited. I think there's so many cool projects that are out here in the Farcaster ecosystem that, just like you, built something and then continued every single day building on top of that. And I really like that mentality because I'm a very shotgun approach. I have like all of these ideas and I'm just trying to get as many out as I can because I know a couple of them will die along the way, right? Getting out there. But I really like that, the building on top of something you've already built and being able to understand that like I couldn't do what I'm doing today without having gone through the challenge and the struggle of working through some of the other problems right before. You can't just have been like, okay, today, okay, we're doing this, right? It's the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. I really like that terminology for success.
Sure.
Okay, so we got another question from Nacho. Give me one prediction for 5 years from now that sounds completely insane today, but you are 70% sure will come true. That's crazy, Nacho, but I like it.
Just some random prediction. I guess that I would say the crazy prediction I have in 5 years is that you'll be able to stream Bizarre Beasts on Mars. I think Elon might make it happen for us. So
I
you can
like
look for
that.
that. Look for
That's a good
Bizarre
one.
Beasts on interplanetary prediction.
That's a great one. I like that. I mean, 5 years is so long that like anything could happen.
Who knows? Yeah.
That's great. Dylan, do you want to share with anyone where people can find you, reach out to you if they want to get connected?
Yeah, you can go to bizarrebeasts.io. You can access all my social media. There's a contact page there as well. You can certainly find me on Farcaster. That's where I spend most of my time on socials, and X a little bit. But at Bizarre Beast on Farcaster is where you can find me, bizarrebeast.io. If you got kids at home, tell them to go to kids.bizarrebeast.io and check it out. They'll have a lot of fun.
I love it. Thank you so much for coming on, Dylan. Thanks,
Cheers,
Nacho,
all.
for all the great questions, and we'll see y'all soon.
See ya.